The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/expat2020. Hey everyone, this is The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 12. I'm your host, Expat2020, along with my co-host Dan. Hey Dan, how you doing, man?
Hello there. Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. We missed you last week, man.
Yeah, I'm glad. That's good. It was sad to not be here.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And this week, we have another special guest. He's a friend of mine from the Twitch community and from the Discord community. He has a really cool Discord called The Crazies. Crazemeister84, how you doing today, man?
Oh, good, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So, Craze, why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners out there and tell them a little bit about yourself and what kind of gamer you are and what games you're playing?
Okay, well, as you've already aware, I'm Crazemeister84. I'm a Twitch affiliated streamer. Been streaming just coming up to about a year now. In fact, exactly 1 year ago today, actually, is when I did my first ever stream,
Awesome.
which was, it was a 24-hour fundraiser for Macmillan Cancer Support, which I actually did with Krabby X10, who's been with you guys already.
Oh, yeah.
We basically did it for a laugh, and we just saw it on Facebook, like being advertised, and we were like, we could do that, right? Like, it was just an excuse to play video games for 24 hours without the missus complaining too much. But turns out we both really enjoyed it so much, we pretty much decided to go into streaming on a regular basis. And so what followed was the birth of Crazemeister84.
Cool.
Been playing games pretty much my whole life, which is a long time because I'm pretty old. I'm a purebred console gamer. None of this PC business, I'm afraid, not for me. But started out with like a Sinclair Spectrum when I was a kid. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was like when games were on a tape. You used to have to play them. It took about like half an hour to load. So even then, it didn't even work every time. Then it went on to like an Atari and a handheld Atari Lynx, and then the Sega Master System, Mega Drive, and then obviously through all the PlayStations and an Xbox One X today. And I've also got the PS5 pre-ordered now, so looking forward to that.
Cool.
Sort of games.
And what are you playing right now?
At the moment, I'm sort of playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 at the moment, and I've also started playing Genshin Impact.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy series anyway, but never really played a lot of 14. I played it a little bit when it first came out, like years ago, and it was a little bit of a flop, and I didn't really have that many people to play with. But now I've obviously built this community in Twitch and stuff. There's a lot of people that do play it, so I'm playing with a lot more people now, so it's a lot more fun. I'm enjoying it a lot more this time around, so I'm hooked, absolutely hooked. It's amazing.
Awesome. Okay, so before Dan and I jump into what we've been playing, I want to tell everyone out there that you can head over to The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, as well as on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a website for the podcast at expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Also, if you'd like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, which stands for a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Finally, the podcast will also be uploaded to my YouTube channel at Expat2020 Gaming, So you can go there to listen and subscribe and click that notification bell for future podcast episodes, and also leave any comments or questions you might have that we might read on a future episode. So, Dan, right now I'm playing Little Nightmares. It's a cool puzzle platformer, and Craze, you were watching me stream that the other night.
I was, yeah.
And watch me fail miraculously almost on every single area, but it was really fun.
It was good to watch.
It really reminds me of the Playdead Games title called Inside, that puzzle platformer from 2017, I think it was. And the game that came before Inside was Limbo. I don't know if you guys heard of Limbo, but really reminds me of those two games. It's a really cool puzzle platformer. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and playing it during the Spooktober streaming extravaganza that everybody's got going on Twitch right now. So yeah, it's a really fun game to play. Dan, how about you? What are you playing right now?
I've been playing a heck of a lot of Super Mario Brothers Wii Deluxe on the Switch. I just picked up to have a quick go in it the other night, and I found myself playing it for quite a few hours. It's been good. And I also started playing a game you'll be aware of. It was in Japan. It was called Judgment Eyes, but over here it's called just Judgment. It's like a spin-off from the Yakuza series.
Yeah,
and having a lot of fun with that. It's very different from the Yakuza series, but it obviously borrows a lot of the same elements.
In what ways is it different from the Yakuza series?
Well, it's got that whole detective mini stuff shoehorned in. Like you have to investigate clues. I mean, it's really basic. Like you'll get a photo and you got to hover an icon over what you think looks suspicious. So they're quite token additions to the game to make it this more detective like. But that's about it really, and the rest is just pure Yakuza. I mean, even there are some like plot points that are ripped straight from Yakuza, which is a bit weird. And of course, it features what's his name? I've already forgotten his name. The guy that was in SMAP.
Kimura Takuya.
Takuya, isn't it? Yeah. Which is quite exciting. Loads of other famous Japanese celebrities are in it, so it's been quite nice playing that actually. Yeah. Good game.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead. We got a few things to talk about today, so let's go ahead and jump into the news beat. So first, Craze and Dan, do you guys have like any retail shop for gaming that's equivalent to GameStop in the UK?
Yeah,
we do. Yeah, we have Game.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. I think there were basically a couple of others back in the day, but I think they all went broke and they're all closed now.
Wow.
And Game, I'd like to point, sucks really badly.
They overpriced their games, and they've been struggling a lot as well, and they've had to close a lot of their stores, so there's not many of them left, but they're still there.
Well, apparently in the US, of course, GameStop is one of the biggest gaming retailers, and they signed a multi-year deal with Microsoft, which will allow the retailer to upgrade its stores with the software maker's cloud and hardware services, as well as receive a cut on revenue of digital sales. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about this. I'm thinking it's probably going to pump a little bit of life back into GameStop for a while, and actually it's interesting in the sense that when you go into a GameStop now for this coming holiday season, the limited amount of people that might go out because of COVID, I don't know, but people that are going to go into GameStop, now they're going to see a bunch of Xbox on the shelves because they're going to have the incentives to sell the Xboxes now, and especially with digital sales now. Do you think this is something that you might see in Game, for example, out in the UK, or like, for example, PlayStation making some kind of deal for digital sales or something like that? I don't know. What do you guys think of this story?
Dan, you want to go first?
No, you go for it. Go for it.
Well, to be fair, in terms of like deals being done for, like, for example, on Microsoft's part, I think it's basically good. It's a good deal for them because it's another avenue for them to push Xbox through. Knowing that GameStop will obviously, it's going to go ahead and push them because they're going to get they're obviously going to get a cut of the money, which is good. So I don't see why PlayStation wouldn't look to do something like that with companies. And in the UK, you've only got a game to do that with, and I don't really know if it will actually help because not many people go to game anymore, to be fair.
Yeah, it's like, it's parents who don't know any better go to game. Or like I've seen this advert for a game called Call of Duty. My son has a PlayStation. Can I pay £10 more than everywhere else to buy it, please? That's their bread and butter. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I gotta say, Microsoft are doing lots of pretty shrewd moves this generation, man. They're on point.
Yeah,
I think Sony should be concerned, but at the same time, I'm also thinking this is like kind of like GameStop digging their own grave a little bit. Or it's like, like making the hemp to form the noose that we hung you with later. It's like the only reason game shops exist is because we still have physical media. As soon as we switch to an all digital thing, as soon as we stop having physical games, which is very, very soon, like the next generation, like we won't have game shops anymore. So it's kind of like
primarily already dead here in Japan.
It's absolutely
like
dead
Harmon. You remember Harmon, Dan? I mean, those stores are gone.
Yeah,
they're wiped out now.
Yeah, I think because the only reason that game shops exist now is because they A, push hardware, and B, they still have physical media. As soon as we shift to digital media, I mean, we've been saying for years, like if Sony and Microsoft could sell direct, like if they had their own warehouse, their distribution business, they wouldn't need shops at all. So I think it's an interesting point that that they're teaming up with this, knowing full well that this is probably the last hurrah for the game shop.
Yeah,
of any description. So good for them, just prolonging it. But yeah, when the PlayStation 6 and Xbox Series 5 monkey fit Tampax
Xbox Series 2 or whatever,
whatever abortion name the inept asylum patients they haul out to come up with, they will that will be the that'll be the end of shops, full stop.
Well, how do you feel about this holiday season? I think, is this going to boost Xbox's sales? Do you think against PlayStation 5?
I mean, in the States, yeah, probably, yeah. Like I said, though, if you're a confused parent and like, oh, I've heard about these two machines, and all you see is Xbox, probably going to sway you, isn't it? It's definitely going to have an impact. I think, for walk-in holiday sales, there will be a boost from this, I assume.
Yeah, especially considering, like I said earlier, if they're getting a cut from it, they're going to be pushing it. So like anyone who comes through that door, they're going to be pushing Xbox on them.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, it's a pretty prudent move, I think.
I'd be interested to see if actually it would be funny to see Nintendo do something like this with some of these struggling shops. But Nintendo is Nintendo. I don't think they're going to do that. But
I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to see them having more of their flagship stores kicking around. Not like one in every town, but I think having one per country, per capital city, I think you could do a bit better. But anyway, that's a by the by.
Well, what's really surprising is they don't even do it much here in their home country.
It's weird. They'd make it
really weird.
They should have one in like every prefecture should have a Nintendo shop.
Oh yeah, well, Akihabara should have every retro gaming shop have some kind of digital deals through Nintendo, maybe. Through their eShop or something.
Could do. Yeah, it's wacky.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the second news story. So I want to talk a little bit about Dan. I know you are not so much into Assassin's Creed, right? What was the last Assassin's Creed game you played?
What was the one with the two cockneys running around land and tan? What was that one?
Syndicate?
I don't know which one.
Syndicate, right?
I've got to go and assassinate that governor over there. That was the one I played. It was all right, actually. That wasn't bad.
It doesn't sound very good.
That was the entire game. Just two cockneys like, oh, go stab up that governor. That one. Yeah, that was a good game actually. I've got no beef with it. I've been interested. The Egyptian one I couldn't care about, but
Origins, yeah.
yeah, but the one after the Odyssey looked all right. I might get
Odyssey
around
was
to it one
really
day.
good. Yeah. Craze, how about you? Are you into Assassin's Creed at all?
I like them. I haven't played literally all of them, to be fair. I think I played the first couple, and then I played Black Flag, which was probably my favorite. I played Origins. I didn't get around to playing Odyssey, but I'm really liking the look of this new one. But second was always like one of my favorites as well, to be fair, because Ezio Auditore absolutely kicked butt. So
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, I thought it was awesome, and obviously like the crowd stuff and stuff, and it was just a really good game. But also Black Flag was a completely different game when they introduced all the ships and stuff as well. It was just it was so much fun. I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what you guys think because both of you are from the UK, and this Valhalla is going to especially be centered on the UK of the 9th century. So I'm interested to know what you guys think about this. But before I give that to you guys, I want to just talk a little bit about some of the new gameplay features. What really stood out to me is in, like Dan, you were mentioning Origins, which was the Egyptian game, but in Odyssey, if for all of you out there that have played Odyssey, you had a choice at the beginning of the game to choose between the male character or the female character. So Alexios or Cassandra. And Cassandra, of course, was the canon character, but you had a chance to choose between one or the other. Well, now in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the really cool part about this now is you'll be able to choose between the male Eivor or the female Eivor anytime in the game that you want. So it doesn't matter.
Oh.
So you can switch between the male or the female character at any point in the game.
Okay.
So I think that's really cool.
Why?
Well, just if you want a different perspective. I mean, if you want to play as a female character, say you're a male gamer and you're playing the female character, but you want to switch over, and see what the personality of the other, character might be like, then you might want to switch. So, I think that's a cool thing. Whereas in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you couldn't do that. Once you chose that particular character, you had to play that character throughout the game. So you couldn't switch. So they're giving you that option now.
But will there be like actual meaningful differences? Or it's just like you're getting reskinned and a new voice kicks in?
No, apparently it has something to do with, you know how the DNA sequencing and the Assassin's Creed lore, when it comes to the Animus and things like that. So that's going to have some kind of impact on the Animus and impact on the DNA sequencing in the game.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Cool. I mean, when I first heard of this idea, I was thinking it was like, I initially thought it was like two different characters and you switch between them, kind of like GTA 5 did between like 3 characters and stuff, and you just join their story at certain parts. And I thought that's a great idea. I like where they're going with this. But then as it sort of like, as it came out more and I read more into it, it turns out that it's literally just the same character, but you're just changing it from female to male, which I didn't really see the point, to be fair. I've never had an issue with deciding to play as a male or female at the beginning. So, in fact, I don't even think I'd enjoy the consistency of the story if I just magically grew a penis midway through the story. Or I don't know. I don't think it's for me.
Well, I think what it's gonna have some kind of impact on the story as well. And it talks about, for example, throughout the game, in the areas where you're going to go, for example, the content in each territory that you go to. So like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins, for example, all these side quests that you do didn't have so much impact into the main story, but apparently this time it will have some kind of major impact. So that's cool. I mean, like Dan, we were talking about a few weeks back on one of the episodes about going and, taking care of chickens, like on one of the islands in Macedonia or something like that. Right. Well, in in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, basically a lot of these side quests are going to have more content that's going to have a lot of relevance to the story.
Yeah.
So,
But
and the story can go off in different directions as well. So,
all right.
yeah. And then one other thing I wanted to point out about Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's going to be different than Odyssey, for example, is in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, to do fast travel, for example, on your ship, you had to go to a particular location on the map where there was a dock.
Okay.
And then you could get the ship to come to you and then go to different locations. Well, in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's going to be, it's called longboat fast travel. So, for example, the river systems, like in the UK, for example, on the map, you can call your longboat anywhere on the map where you are, if you're near a river or something like that. So you don't have to go to a particular like dock location to get your boat. So you can just go right up to the river and call your longboat to fast travel anywhere on the map. So I think that's pretty cool. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, it's interesting little wrinkle.
Yeah, it seems a lot quicker way of doing it, really, rather than just like when you get a game like before, like you said, you had to go to like a dock or something to get your boat. It doesn't really make it a fast travel, because if you know we're near a dock, you still got to travel all the way to the dock to, it just kind of defeats the object. But this seems a lot more of a better sort of fast travel feature.
Yeah.
Isn't fast travel cheating a little bit?
It is a bit.
Like, I you know, the Outer Worlds even is an amazing game. But like, I found myself just like fast traveling in it. I think I kind of like, if I didn't have that, I would have spent more time in the game, savoring the world and, you know, enjoying it more if I didn't have that feature. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is needed though. I mean, last big one I played was Ghost of Tsushima, and to be fair, without the fast travel on that, I'd still be playing it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just takes so long to get like anywhere and stuff, and like the missions and stuff, the quests are so jagged. Like one quest will be like right at the top of the map, and before you know it, you're going right down to the bottom again.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all over the place really. So pretty much needed that.
So that's kind of like one of the points that Dan and I was talking about when it came to open world games, where, you know, they need to start to condense some of these open world games a little bit. So,
yeah,
because it's starting to get so overwhelming, you know, the maps and everything. Yeah. So how do you guys feel about Vikings in this Assassin's Creed game? Being from the UK, I like a kind of a historical perspective here on this. How do you feel about you know, playing a game where the Vikings are invading in the 9th century?
Love it. We love those guys. We love the Vikings. They're all right.
yeah, good bunch of guys.
Yeah, great bunch of lads.
I don't know. I mean, my history extent isn't absolutely amazing, but you know, I've seen the series Vikings, and that was sick. And like, yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff on the actual game itself, and it just looks really good. And it's definitely going to be the first next gen game I'm going to be playing. So, yeah. I'm up for it. Looks good.
Well, when it comes to the Assassin's Creed lore, I mean, this game is still about 200 to 300 years before the original game, which was based in, you know, the 12th century, like 1190, you know, in the Middle East, where the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood kind of had its, you know, its foundings to what we know of it today. So I like in Assassin's Creed Origins, the Egyptian game, that was the actual founding. But you see, what they're saying is you're going to be able to see in Assassin's Creed Valhalla how what Bayek, who was in Assassin's Creed Origins, what he created, what that is culminated to just before the you know, the beginnings of Altair from the original game. So, and the Assassin's Creed Order and the Brotherhood that takes place during that time while they're battling the Templar Order. So, should be interesting. But
yeah, indeed.
Okay, so speaking of maps, so we were talking about, like having huge open world games and how the maps can be enormous and everything. Well, GTA apparently has had a map leak, kind of similar to remember Red Dead Redemption 2 a couple of years ago. It came out in 2018, right?
Yeah.
But a couple of years before that, there was actually the leak of the map of Red Dead Redemption 2. So apparently GTA 6, there might have been a map that was leaked again. And this time it looks like kind of an island, but this island is shaped, when you look at it through this leaked photo, it looks like Miami. So apparently it looks like we could possibly be going back to Miami, like we did in Vice City.
Hell yeah.
So what do you guys think of this?
I'm in.
Yeah, me too. 100%. I am literally balls deep. I'm all over that. Because, I mean, did the actual map leak for Red Dead Redemption 2 actually, was it correct? Was it right?
Yes.
Right. I was going to say, because most of this sort of stuff I kind of take with a pinch of salt because, Rockstar have not even confirmed GTA 6 is even in development, technically. But, yeah.
Well, what they're saying is it's in early development. But come on, guys. We know it's probably farther along than that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But the fact, obviously, they might be going back to Vice City is very exciting because that was one of my favourite Grand Theft Autos. The soundtrack was incredible. The city was amazing. And obviously, to see that in today's graphics and everything as well, and the fact, obviously, they're going to have the capabilities of expanding it and having it bigger. It's just going to be awesome. I think it'll be ace.
Yeah. Having an expanded map of Miami or something like that would be awesome. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, to date, for me, Vice City is still the best GTA game. So, I'm hoping this is going to be a return to that style, ridiculous. I hope it will be like 80s tongue-in-cheek, that sort of thing. That'd be very, very awesome indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you just imagine GTA 5 was basically Los Angeles. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, Los Santos, right?
Yeah.
So having Miami for a second Vice City.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
But keep it in the 80s.
Yeah. If they keep it in the 80s, oh my God.
That'd be immense.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we want that.
Just basically a Vice City remake. Just give us some Vice City remake.
Yeah.
I'm well for that.
That'd be fun.
Cool. Okay, and next up, it seems that the Mass Effect Legendary Collection has leaked.
Yay!
So basically, we're going to be getting all 3 Mass Effect games, probably remastered. But the interesting part of this is that Mass Effect Andromeda is not a part of this Legendary Collection.
Do
you guys think that Andromeda should be included with this?
No.
I think it should.
The name is Legendary, not awesome and a bit shit.
I mean,
Mass Effect, the awesome and a bit shit collection, that doesn't have the same ring to it. So
there are people out there that probably liked it. I mean, I'm not I think my whole sort of Mass Effect experience isn't huge. I haven't played them all, but I played Andromeda and stuff, so I have no basis of comparison really because I played the crap one. But I know there's a lot of people that hated Andromeda. But there's got to be some people out there that liked it. So to not have it in the collection wouldn't be fair. If you want a collection, you got to accept the crap ones as well. You got to have the whole collection. You got to own it, whether you made a crap game or not.
I think the only thing I can see out of this is that maybe Andromeda is going to be, put on PS5 and Series X,
not
just as a standalone.
Not a chance.
I don't know.
Not a chance.
Well,
Not a chance.
either that because it's EA, so it'll probably become part of the EA Play
Oh
selection.
yeah, that'll be it. But it won't be. It won't have a
Game Pass,
remaster.
yeah.
It won't have an upgrade. That thing is dead. They will never mention it again. It's No. Just no.
Which of the 3 Mass Effect games, 1, 2, and 3, which did you guys like the best? I'm sorry, Dan, I can't hear you. You're
sorry.
a little bit far away from your mic. What did you say?
2.
Craze, how about you?
I didn't even play them all, if I'm honest. I only played Andromeda.
What about you? What about you, Chief?
I would agree. I think 2 is the best.
Yeah.
So 3, it was all right, but yeah, 1 was really good too, but 2 was the best. I think that's just my opinion.
One was good, but the inventory thing was really annoying. That was properly hard work. I enjoyed going down to planets and mining stuff. That was good, but then they sped out in 2 by having just you sending out little probes to planets. That was good. No, yeah, 2 is very, very good indeed.
Yeah. And the first time I played Andromeda, I was about 40% through the game, and then my save file crashed. Everything, game crashed, everything.
Yeah.
And so I waited about 6 months after I, kind of, got over my anger of having that crash. And then I tried it again and played it all the way through. But I didn't have the same feeling as I did with the original trilogy. So.
Bummer.
Yeah, but yeah, it's coming. It's funny that BioWare and EA, they haven't supplied any kind of remark or assertion that it's coming, but it's coming.
We've known forever this is happening, though. I mean, the community, the fan base has been like, "Hey, when are you going to release it?" It's a no-brainer for them, really. Just upscale it and re-release it with all the DLC. It's easy money, really.
Yeah, when you've got the demand there already,
yeah,
you got to deliver, and it's just easy money, like you said.
I mean, I'd buy it. Yeah, no worries.
I'd probably buy it, to be fair, because I've never played the original 3. So, and obviously I played the Andromeda, and I know how bad that is according to us fans. So, I'd probably give it a go because everyone seems to love the original 3. So,
yeah, no, it's good stuff. Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's move on to our topic of the show. So this week, I want to talk about some of the biggest failures in the gaming industry in the last decade. So we can talk about games as well, but I mean, basically the gaming industry, what were some of the biggest failures? What we feel, how they impacted the industry, and did the failure impact the company and the part of the industry that it was related to? Could that company in the industry recover, for example? So let me start. I think, honestly, I think the Wii U is probably, of the past decade, one of the biggest failures. I mean, you look at the Wii's success, there's 115 million units sold of the Wii. That generation, it was really an exceptional piece of hardware. Then they came out with the Wii U. The naming was confusing. And then you had this, and then you had that gamepad that was, it was terrible. Sorry, Krabby, because Krabby liked the Wii U, but and it only sold like 14 million units.
Yeah. And
if you look at the current generation, the Nintendo Switch, it took 9 months to surpass that.
Yeah.
So it was a monumental failure for Nintendo with that piece of hardware. Anyway, what do you guys think? Can you name something from the past decade that you feel was a pretty big failure in the gaming industry?
Yeah. like on a similar theme, the 3DS.
Oh yeah. See, I was going to go down that route as well.
Oh, go jump in, go nuts.
Yeah, well, it's kind of down that route. I was basically going to say like the whole 3D gaming as a whole, as a genre, basically was a massive failure.
Yeah.
Not just that, just 3D TVs as well. It was such a passing fad. I mean, if you don't even remember 3D gaming, which it's like it just shows how much of a failure this was. But it was round about the very short time that 3D TVs were the next big thing before fizzling out into nothingness. But everyone wanted gaming in 3D, which at the time was an exciting prospect. But it ended up being like the games were so demanding. It meant like you needed a dedicated gaming PC just to run the games. And this meant obviously it was never going to take off on console. It wouldn't work on console. And I even remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but as a way around it, PlayStation released a PlayStation branded TV, 3D TV, that literally no one bought. Because it was like another 500 quid you needed to spaff away on what could be another passing fad. So in the end, they all just abandoned the idea and moved on to the whole 4K gig, didn't they? But if you remembered, 3D was such a failure that even Nintendo released a 3DS, but in as little as 2 years announced like the 2DS. It's like a step back, saying, okay, well, it's not going to go anywhere. So here's a 2DS one, which probably looks sharper and more crisp than the 3D one anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. It reminds me actually that there were a few 3D games Arkham Asylum you could play in 3D.
Yeah, I
think there are a handful of games that built into the software itself. But again, no one did it because no one had a 3D TV, so that lasted about 25 minutes.
It was a pain, wasn't it, with all the glasses and stuff you needed as well, and
it was so weird.
Operated. It was just it's pointless.
Like the sole reason 3D movies came out was to stop piracy. It was not to boost the movie-going experience. It was not to generate more interest in going to the cinema. It was purely to stop pirates from wheeling in a camera to the back of a cinema and recording these films. And from the back of that, they were like, hang on a minute, this is going to be huge. Let's have TVs and games. And then, nothing happened. Really weird. But
did you guys I just want to interject something real quick. Did you guys in the UK have OnLive?
No.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, because that was the video game streaming service. I mean, xCloud, they're working with video game streaming now, and it's really, taken off with xCloud. But back about 10 years ago, OnLive was trying this video game streaming thing, and it just tanked.
Yeah.
It was on tablets, smartphones. It never came to fruition. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's a very different point. But
maybe they just weren't ready for that yet.
Exactly,
that's where we're going now. So
it was way before its time.
Yeah.
Like the infrastructure, just wasn't there yet. So,
it probably would have been a nightmare.
Weren't they bought out by another one of the Sony claims? Didn't Sony buy them? I can't remember. I think they got absorbed by someone else. I'm going to check that out right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. I think they just completely tanked. Yeah. So, it's right. Yeah, Sony did. They acquired OnLive's patents and launched its own streaming service, PlayStation Now.
Yes.
Good. What about Telltale Games going bankrupt? I mean, that was a pretty big failure. In a sense, I
don't really understand how that happened. Though I thought like Telltale games were pretty good and they were quite big, weren't they? And then all of a sudden,
the popularity had skyrocketed, especially with The Walking Dead. The original Walking Dead was one of the games of the year, actually. But I think over time, a lot of people just couldn't deal with the game mechanics. I mean, it was just an old game mechanic system, and they never updated it.
So one of the big problems was was horrendous mismanagement. The other problem was spending loads of money on colossal licenses that didn't do very well. I mean, the money they paid for Game of Thrones, they didn't get back. And also the fact that they had this engine, the same engine they made like Jurassic Park, one of their first games on. They were still cranking out games on 8 odd years later. Well, not 8, but obviously, but 5 years later, they're still using the same creaky old game engine from the PS3.
That Guardians of the Galaxy one. Yeah.
Well, whatever. But they had this engine. They didn't bother updating it. They just kept recycling it, and it was buggy and quite a mess. It's quite noticeable in the Batman game, actually. It's it doesn't. It's not very well optimized.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. Now Skybound Entertainment owns the media rights to The Walking Dead. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Hope they do something cool with it. But no, they did some good games. The Wolf Among Us is amazing. I really enjoyed Wolf Among Us. It was very surprising to hear, and the speed with which they just dropped dead overnight. Like even the staff didn't know. Like the staff literally went in one morning and went, "Okay, we're keeping 5 of you. Everyone else get out." And obviously the remaining 5 were like doing Twitter storms and saying, "Oh, this is crazy." And like it was actually really interesting to see, from these people who were the Remainers, like live blogging the process of your workplace being shut down. That was a very strange time. Yeah. But I think have we got time for one more? Are we still on this?
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
I think that by far the biggest failure, the biggest crash, is in regard to games as live services. I think it's been proven now unequivocally that it doesn't work. We've had Destiny, we've had Anthem, and now we've had this new Marvel Avengers game. Yeah. Games as a live service does not work. It doesn't work. Having a game and saying, okay, here's the core game, and over the next 10 years, which they've all said, Destiny said 10 years, Anthem said 10 years, Marvel said, well, they've been non-committal, but they've said years.
And it's already starting to see a huge decline in player base.
Yeah, all those games are dead within a year of coming out. It's done. It's done. So the biggest failure by far is the notion that we're going to sell you a shell of a game and we're going to sell you the rest of the game later, as well as weapon skins and character skins and upgrades. That's been the biggest failure. And Jesus Christ, they have to stop doing that now. If you can't do it with Marvel, you can't
savvy, haven't they? I think everyone's got more savvy with that now. Like people are like, I'm not going down that route anymore because just like you said, I'm going to be buying a shell of a game and I'm going to be able to buy the rest of the game later. I'm just not getting ripped off. Sorry, I'm out.
Yeah. It's been proven now. It doesn't work. Just let it die. Just make games as games and sell games. Not as subscription services. I mean, and there's talk of like making next gen games $70, 60, 70 pounds. Imagine that. I'm going to pay £70 for the first 2 hours of a game. And I'll get the rest at 20 quid a pop when you can be asked to release it. Anthem has had no more episodic content out for it. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they basically remade that game.
It was dead at launch. It wasn't even a thing. And like you said, like Marvel's down to 1,000 concurrent players on PC, which makes matchmaking impossible. Even less on consoles because it didn't have that much of a pickup at the start.
But as long as people keep buying these things, it's not going to impact the companies that are making them. I don't think problem.
I don't think they are. Marvel didn't have the massive sales they're expecting, and of course the drop-off rate means no one will be buying DLC for it because they've already had their fun with it and probably traded it in or whatever. So I think we can probably safely say this is dead. This is a dead game. Don't bother.
Yeah, and some other hardware failures that I want to point out real quick. Do you guys remember the Ouya?
I do.
That Android-based video game console raised millions on Kickstarter, but it never took off.
Yeah.
So that was another failure. And I know you guys aren't PC gamers, and neither am I. But I mean, one called the Steam Machine.
Yeah.
That gaming computer. It was too focused on games, unfortunately. But that was another bomb. So.
Well, and the whole Steam in your living room thing.
Yeah. And then also Kinect. That was another failure, especially as it was, pushed during the beginning of the current generation. They were trying to push the Kinect. And, that didn't work out. Just that and Kinect with when it comes to, like, say, augmented reality and stuff like that. It just... it's augmented reality is still kind of years off, I think, to become like mainstream. But the Kinect just didn't fly.
Yeah.
And it affected the Xbox One at launch too.
I just think a lot of the things they do are sort of flops because the technology is just so advanced. The price is just so high. Like, for example, like VR, for example, the VR headset for PlayStation's the price of that was more than the PlayStation. Like, you can't invent like an accessory to a console and have it priced up more than the console itself. It blows my mind how they could do that.
It's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that was our topic of the week. So now let's do a craze. Since you're our special guest today, our special guest segment for the month of October is asking our guests what their best and worst memories of the current generation of consoles were. For example, your best, worst game, the most impactful game for you, the most difficult games that you've played throughout this console generation. So, Craze, take it away, man. For you, what were the best and worst memories of the current console generation?
Best game of the current generation for me, I would have to say, is The Witcher 3. Literally everything about it. I can't fault a thing. It was pretty damn true to the books, which made the storytelling of the game amazing as it was, because I'm a fan of the books anyway, and the stories are just pure awesomeness. So the way CD Projekt Red managed to convert that into a game just meant they couldn't go wrong in terms of the storytelling. It was just awesome. They portrayed the characters perfectly. It had an outstanding soundtrack. Graphics was stunning, and not to mention the level of details regarding like leveling up and gear creation, weapons, along with the different potions and blade oils to use against different monsters. The detail was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then just to top it off, they included a mini game in it that was so addictive, which was Gwent. I mean, I would probably rate it the best mini game within another game ever. I mean, I spent tons of hours on Witcher 3 just playing Gwent. It was insane.
Yeah, and the DLC content too. That was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. I mean, they even ended up making a standalone Gwent game, didn't they? It was that successful. I never played it myself, but I remember them doing it. They actually made a Gwent game, which I don't know if it was that popular. I mean, I never played it though, because if I ever wanted to play Gwent, I'd just whack Witcher 3 on because it was that good in the game anyway. Then obviously worst game in the current generation. Now I'm going to say something extremely controversial now, and I'm going to say Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, closely followed by Dark Souls 3. So I know Sekiro won Game of the Year, etc., but I personally absolutely hated this game. I absolutely hated it. I just basically hate From Software games in the general way that they are, the way they make their games. I absolutely get them. You know, you have to accept the fact that you're going to die a million times over and over again. In fact, you need to die a million times so you could work out the mechanics of the bosses and learn how to defeat them. But however, that's not for me. It's the whole dying and going back a mile and losing all your stuff every time and then making your way back to the boss for them to just whip you again and again and again. I just don't have patience. I rage quit it, basically. I have to stop.
You should talk to Dan then, because he's the Bloodborne expert here.
See, that's what I mean. It's controversial. It's like Sekiro won Game of the Year. There's loads of people that love From Software games, but I don't personally understand why people love them so much. They're just infuriating. They are made to be annoying, and they annoy me. So, mission successful for them, I guess.
So for you, was that the most difficult game of the generation, Sekiro?
Oh, yes. Sekiro was one of the hardest games I played in a long time. And to be fair, I think Doom Eternal was like incredibly hard as well. Like, it was great fun. I still enjoyed the game, but my God, it was brutal. Just literally wave after wave after wave of demons. And at some point, it's like, crikey, like, I'm never going to do this. And it was another like 4 difficulties above what I was playing. So I was like, I don't ever want to play this on ridiculously hard. Forget that.
I see. So how about like the hardware? I mean, like the Xbox, the PlayStation. What are some of your memories of the consoles for this last generation? Like the user interface or problems you might have had, for example, with the hardware? Anything?
To be fair, with PlayStation, I always thought that the interface was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And I'm hoping the new one's going to be like that too. But yeah, I never really had a problem with the interface on PlayStation. But with Xbox, the Xbox One X was literally my first Xbox I've ever bought because I just saw how powerful it is, and compared to the PS4, and I never really upgraded to PS4 Pro either. So I thought I'd get an Xbox One X and have the best of both worlds, I guess. But yeah, I struggled a little more with the Xbox, but that's probably because I didn't really have that experience with them, I guess. But once you get used to it, it's not too bad. And obviously, like there's in terms of hardware as well, there's stuff that they put on the controllers, like the touchpad thing on PlayStation. They kind of have these ideas, but don't tend to really build on them much, do they? I mean, it's like going back a gen, you had like the 6 axes, and when it first came out, they had a couple of games where you control it with it, but then it just fizzled out. They didn't really use it anymore.
Yeah.
But one of the best memories I have of the current gen was a little demo that came on PlayStation PSN called PT. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, it stood for like playable teaser or playable trailer, wasn't it? And like this was just a pure masterpiece of marketing. It was just genius because it just like literally just turned up on PSN out of nowhere without any sort of any announcements or nothing. It just turned up and it was called PT. And it got people
just like that 10 minutes of horror. Yeah.
Yeah, it just got people talking, and people were like sort of messaging each other, and forums were being set up. Like, have you seen this PT? I don't even know what it is. It's just rocked up out of nowhere, but I can't work out how to do it because you had to do certain things to get onto the next bit, didn't you? But you had to work out what to do, and it was frightening. It was really, really scary. And then it turns out it was basically like a playable trailer for the new Silent Hill game that Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro were actually working on together. Obviously, unfortunately, it disbanded, didn't it? And they obviously ended up doing Death Stranding in the end as well, which probably wasn't nowhere near as good as the Silent Hills would have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that PT was just pure genius marketing on their part, really. It's just a shame it never went ahead.
Yeah.
I think we lost
Did we lose Dan?
I think we did.
Maybe we did. So crazy, yeah. Unfortunately, Dan, his laptop pooped out on him, so we're going to have to continue without him. So thank you for all of that information about your memories of the past console generation. Really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and move on to the Metacritic upcoming releases for the week of October 19th through 25th. There are 2 games on the list this week, so I guess this is kind of a stopgap week when it comes to the new games that are gonna be massively being dumped on us in the next couple of weeks, I think. Yeah. So anyway, so the first game on the list is Amnesia Rebirth. Comes out on October 20th for PS4 and PC. Craze, have you played any of the Amnesia games?
I haven't, unfortunately, no. Is it?
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah.
So more into survival horror. So you can't let out a breath. So the creature only niches away its sole purpose to feed off your terror. And so you crouch in the dark, trying to stop the fear rising, trying to silence what lies within you. I know you. I know what you're capable of. In Amnesia Rebirth, you are Tassi Trinon, waking up deep in the desert of Algeria. Days have passed. Where have you been? What do you do? Where are the others? Retrace your journey. Pulled together the fragments of your shattered past. It is your only chance to survive the pitiless horror that threatens to devour you. So yeah, it comes out on October 20th for PS4 and PC.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, I like a bit of survival horror, so yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, this would be a perfect game for the Twitch streamers coming out for Spooktober. Yeah.
Yeah.
And And the second game on the list, Transformers Battlegrounds. So it comes out on October 23rd for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So have you ever played any of the Transformer games?
I played one like a long time ago, and it was kind of like, yeah, you're just in the middle of the city, just changing from a car to the robot, just trashing things up, and it was pretty pants, to be fair. I didn't really like it, but it was a very early game. I can imagine like the new ones will probably be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I can't say I'm overly interested in that one, to be fair.
Yeah, I've played some of the Gundam games out here in Japan. They're kind of similar to the Transformer series, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well this sells. Comes out on October 23rd. So as evil Megatron closes in on Allspark, Bumblebee, and the Autobots need a new commander to help save Earth. You assemble your squad and roll out for a battle that will rage on from Central City to Cybertron, and even to the local multiplayer arcade. So it comes out on the 23rd. So
Cool.
I think of these two games, I would go for Amnesia. Especially since it's October, Spooktober going on, especially on Twitch. I think this would be a good addition.
Yeah, Twitch streamers get involved.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I mean, this feels like this is just a stopgap week. From next week, there's already 5 games on the list, and that's probably going to grow. So yeah, especially since the new consoles are going to be coming out next month.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, I'm just basically holding out at the moment. I'm holding out for Cyberpunk, man. I'm just living and breathing Cyberpunk at the moment. So
oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because obviously it comes in this country, in UK, it comes out on the 19th of November. We're getting it like a week later than everyone else. And which means it comes out on the exact same day as Cyberpunk does. So I've booked some time off work to be playing Cyberpunk. So I'll have my PS5, I'll have my next gen console, and I'll be playing a previous gen game on it.
Yeah.
Because I can't wait anymore. I need to play it. I'm not going to wait for a PS5 version. Forget it. I want to play it.
Yeah. Hey, Dan's back. All right.
Dumped an entire cup of tea on my laptop. Which, you know, probably means it's dead. So I'm having to use my backup. This is the one I use for like working on and like doing little coding stuff on. So I'm having to use my backup, and probably this afternoon I'll be laptop shopping. So awesome.
You're
sorry
still,
about that.
You're still kind of breaking up.
Oh, rubbish. Oh, God.
I know we were just
mind.
talking about the two
happened?
games on the Metacritic list this week, Amnesia and Transformers.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of a stopgap week,
Radical.
basically.
And I pretty much admit from software games, which you might be unimpressed with.
Oh, I don't know. What's wrong with From Software?
I was just pretty much explaining just how much it's just not for me. It's the whole like dying over and over and over again. And then obviously going back and then going back to that bar, making your way back to that boss, losing half of your stuff at the same time, and then making your way back to them to just get whipped over and over again. It's like, it's not for me, really. I ain't got the patience for that sort of thing. I had to rage quit and stand it.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah.
I just don't understand why people love them so much. I get like everyone loves them. I don't really understand why. They're absolutely infuriating. Which I said, like, they're made to annoy you, and they annoy me. So mission accomplished for them.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I only really like. I only really like Bloodborne. The rest of them I don't care about. Dark Souls is all right, but yeah.
I played Bloodborne. Yeah. I completed it.
Yeah, it's good. That's the one.
All right. Okay, so Dan, since you're back, hopefully we can do your retro topic of the week. So
can I skip it based on my current technology woes? I'm getting like, because I don't know why, and I'm also using Firefox. I'm getting loads of warnings on Zencaster. Like, there's just nothing but warnings all across my screen. So I'm good.
Wow.
I've been booted from. Yeah, I'm just gonna be as passive for the rest of this episode as I can be. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
So with the technical difficulties this week, we'll skip the topic of the week. We'll come back to it next week. So
yeah, for sure.
Okay. So So basically, before we conclude the episode, I want to just let everybody know once again where you can find the podcast. You can head over to the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, as well as on Spotify or Amazon Music. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for the Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a website for the podcast at expat2020.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. If you'd like to support the show and get early access to every episode and listen ad-free along with other perks, please visit patreon.com/expat2020 for further details. On social media, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at the Arena AMPGNP, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at expat_2020, and on my YouTube channel, Expat2020 Gaming. You can see my latest videos related to new game releases, game trailer impressions, as well as this podcast. You can also find me on Facebook at Expat2020, and I have a Discord named the Expat2020 Arena, where all of you are welcome to discuss anything and everything related to video games, as well as leave questions and comments for the podcast. Finally, I'm a live streamer and a Twitch affiliate, and you can catch my live streams on twitch.tv/expat2020, as well as my website for content creation at expat2020.live. So, Craze, where can people find you on social media, man?
Yeah, I'm basically live on Twitch on Wednesdays and Sundays at 7:30 p.m. UK time, and the channel is CrazeMeister84. You can also find me on Twitter. Just use the at Anthony Craze. It's just literally under my name, or you could just search for CrazeMeister84. And I also have an awesome Discord, which I have worked really hard on building over the past year and stuff. But yeah, it's called The Crazies. And they're just an amazing community of great people who play all kinds of different games. And we pride ourselves on helping new streamers, etc. if they're looking to get affiliated or just need advice and stuff. They're just very supportive guys. So if you get in touch with me on Twitter, I can get you invited into that and stuff. And yeah, it's brilliant. Get yourselves involved.
Nice.
All right.
Very nice.
And thanks for being our guest today. We really hope you can come back again soon. And apologies for all the technical difficulties we had today. So. But no, we really appreciate you coming in, man, and hope you come back again soon.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah, defo. Yeah.
Okay. And Dan, quickly, where can people find you on social media, and what's going on at the Center for Computing History this week?
Yeah, on the end, I got a couple of requests of our listeners. So at the Centre for Computing History, we're doing some things for half term. Half term in the UK is the last week of October, which of course will include Halloween. Mm-hmm. If we're doing a little bit of a spooky games tour, so if there are any games you played as a kid or growing up that spooked you or made you nervous, let us know in the comments or send us a DM or whatever, however people get in contact on this sort of thing. I'd like to hear about your experiences playing spooky games as kids. That'd be cool. But there's a video of me coming up very soon talking about the Sega Diverse CX-1, which is pretty cool. I'm editing that one now. I'm doing a workshop on how to make a game on Scratch as well. These are all available on computinghistory.org.uk. Have a look at our events page. And I've got some live tours coming up, all that jazz. As for me, personal projects, I haven't got time in a minute, but I'm on YouTube, whatever. Link in the description on the bio page of Podbean.
Okay. Cool. Thanks a lot, man. So to finish the show today, we are doing our indie recording artist spotlight. This week, our spotlight is on Maya Isac, who is based in New York City and has toured throughout the United States, including performances at the South by Southwest Festival. From her album titled All of the Miles, and the song is called When I Get There. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. I'm your host, Expat2020, for my co-host Dan, and for our special guest, CrazeMeister84. We hope to see you in the next one. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets. Fill me in on your wildest moments. You'll feel the soft side right under the warm sun in his hands. When I get there, I'll let my feet roll. When I get there, I'll break in your arms, I'll lose control. When I get there, I'll know the answer. Let me know when I get closer. When I get closer, let me know when I get closer. Open up the sky for me. When you say I'll dig much deeper, I will shout. Let me